Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Teresa, and if this is your first time, thank you for joining me. If you've been here before, well, you're always welcome back here again. You know that, so thanks for coming back again today. Today I'm going to be using this set of stamps. This is a new to me set of stamps. It's a Hero Arts and Gina K Designs collaboration, and it's called Friendship Blooms. And when I saw it, I fell in love with it. There's really nice floral designs, some beautiful sentiments, and I had to have it. Now, I had this from the lovely Emma at myperfectstamp.com. Pop the address there, and I will pop the link down below. Now, I know Emma in real life, and I'd gone round for a chat, and I had this out of the box that she's got in her house. I know it's not on her website just yet. It will be going on there shortly. But if you are in the UK and you really quite fancy having this, please feel free to drop her an email. The email contact is all on her website. She is lovely. She will do her absolute best to sort you out. So yeah, please get in touch with her. She's got some lovely, lovely stamps currently on there, and some really lovely stamps coming on there very soon. The technique that I'm going to show today is using alcohol inks and Posca paint pens, and we are going to create this beautiful colourful design, colouring in the negative space. Just a really simple technique, but fun to do, and with some really, really nice finished results. I'm going to use the same set of stamps, show you 3 different ways of using it, using different colourways, and hope that you will be inspired to have a go yourself. But I'm going to clear these out of the way and get set up, and I'll be right back. To begin with, I have cut some glossy cardstock to size. Now, this is gloss card specifically for use with alcohol inks. I'm based in the UK, and Creative Expressions do this white gloss card. And it is, as you say, it's designed to be used with alcohol inks. Now, you could probably do this technique with Yupo, but be aware that we're going to heat emboss on it, and Yupo, especially the lightweight Yupo, can warp and crinkle because it's synthetic. It's a type of plastic. The gloss card is much better if you want to do some heat embossing. Now, I am sure if you're in the US, I'm sure this is available. If I can find a link on Amazon, I will pop it in my Amazon storefronts down below. I'll see what there is available for you if I get a chance. But here in the UK, this Creative Expressions white gloss card is absolutely perfect. And just a note, it is not the same as photo glossy card. Photo glossy card just doesn't seem to work with alcohol inks. It absorbs the ink too quickly. So I've cut 3 pieces. I'm going to make 3 samples today, and the card sizes that I'm using is a 5 by 5 inch square and 2 7 by 5 inch cards. So I've cut this gloss card slightly smaller, 1/4 inch all round smaller, just so that when it's I can mat it on a little bit of contrasting card and mount it on the front of the card blank. Now, each card I'm going to use a different selection of coloured inks. I've got some nice pastel shades for one of them, which I have got Cloudy Blue, Shell Pink, Cool Perry and Lake Mist. I have a selection of lovely blue and green tones. We've got Mermaid, Sailboat Blue, Pistachio, and I thought that the Pebble was just like a beigey brown. That's quite a nice contrast, so I've got those. And my third combination, I've chosen some warm colours, and we've got Raspberry, Cranberry, Flamingo and Sunshine Yellow. So I'm going to begin, I'm going to use the yellows and pinks, and just randomly drip some alcohol ink over the surface of this gloss card, and just really sort of let it do its thing. Just going to keep going until I'm quite happy with the effect, until the card is all covered with ink. And once you're happy with the effect, just set that aside to dry. Shouldn't take too long, but you do want it dry before you go to stamp on it. Next up, I'm going to use the pale pastel shades. the cloudy blue, the shell pink, the cool perry and lake mist. And I'm going to apply them in very similar fashion. I may add a little blending solution as well. I want these to be very soft and subtle colours.
I keep them waiting. Makeup on fleek, high heels, ripped jeans, they're all waiting. I'm on my way. Looking in the mirror at myself like who that? Swag on 1,000 and my girls got my back. We just wanna party, call me tequila shawty. We just wanna party, yeah.
Once again, I'm going to set that aside until it's completely dry. And for our last background, I'm going to use the shades of blue and green. So once again, that was sailboat blue, mermaid pistachio, and a little touch of the pebble. I'm going to use a felt applicator just to apply these to give a more sort of marbled, finer blend, rather than it being sort of quite blobby and sort of random. This is going to be a smoother texture, shall we say, on the glossy card.
Yeah, you can bring your friends, we won't mind it. We just came to dance and go all night long. The look in your eyes, you can't hide it. Ooh, baby, I know I turn you on. You can bring your friends, we won't mind it. We just came to dance.
And once again, just going to let that one put it aside to dry. As I say, these really don't take that long to dry. Be aware if you've got a lot of ink on there, it can be a little bit tacky for a while. This technique, we're using the felt, places less of the ink on the cardstock, so it will dry quicker. Once your inky background is dry, it's time to stamp the image on. And today, as I say, I'm using this lovely Hero Arts and Gina K Designs collaboration stamp, the Friendship Blooms stamp. And really, you can use any stamp that you want to, but bear in mind, you need something that has got an open design in it. This has got open petals and leaves, something that the colour is going to show through. You don't want anything that is all sort of closed up. You need something with quite a strong outline and plenty of open space within the design. So big florals, big leaves are very, very good. If you've got maybe sort of like big sort of scribbly circles, you could do that, use those, but definitely sort of any floral design with good open petals and leaves would work absolutely perfectly. So I just need to decide where I want to place this. Obviously, you can sort of have a little play around if there's a certain area of the inked background that you want to preserve, that you want to be able to see, and make sure that that's sort of taken into account with the placement of your stamp. This is a brand new stamp, so it's quite sticky at the moment. So I will have to retrieve my piece of card. So just inking up with a clear embossing ink, ready to use some embossing powder, and on this one I'm going to be using gold embossing powder. Just taking a spare piece of paper just to catch the embossing powder, and this is the metallic gold rich from Wow Powder. Just using that one today. Once you're happy that you've got all the design covered, just move away the excess and then we'll heat emboss that with our heat tool. And there's our beautiful floral design embossed in gold. Now I'm going to go ahead and emboss the design on my other two pieces of cardstock, and I'm using different colours, and I'll show you what I've done when I come back, but it's just going to be stamped and embossed in exactly the same way. And for the next stage, we're going to take some Posca pens. Now, for those of you that are not familiar with Posca pens, these are like a marker. They have an acrylic paint in them, and it's really good. It's suitable for use on all sorts of different surfaces: paper, card, terracotta, fabric, glass, ceramics, and quite obviously glossy cardstock. So again, starting with the one that I did first, that's the one I'm going to show you. As I say, I have embossed some flowers onto my other pieces of card. This one I've decided to do a border top and bottom, and I've embossed with white. This one I've just used part of the spray of flowers and I've embossed using black. But I'm going to once again be working on this one that we did using the gold. And I'm going to take a black pen and colour around everything that isn't the flowers and the leaves, basically. So we're going to be blacking out all of this surrounding area, any of the little areas in between, and leaving just the colour showing through on the flowers and the leaves. Now I've got a largish pen here. This is one of the 5M nibs, which is quite a chunky felt tip. I do also have a 1M, which has a much thinner felt tip on it, and I might use that to get into the little tricky bits around the detail. But as always with Posca pens, give them a bit of a shake before you start, just to make sure that the paint is mixed up inside. And then we can begin to colour in on top of the inked background. And I'll just see if I can zoom you in a little bit more so you can see what we're doing here. Here we are with the finished cards, and as you can see, when you put that flat matte acrylic paint around the edge, it really causes the design to pop. So I've done this one with black. I've stamped and embossed the sentiment just on a bit more of the white gloss card that I've got. Here was the pastel shade one that we did, and I've used a grey pen instead of a black on this. Just it tones in well, it's softer than the black, and I think that makes a really delicate sort of lacy effect. Again, chosen another one of the sentiments that there is in the set, and I've heat embossed that using some grey embossing powder. Finally was our little square card, and I decided to use a colour on this one, so I chose a sort of a turquoisey green colour as a nice sort of toning shade to go with the colours that we'd used in the embossing, in the alcohol inks in the background. So I covered with the pen as I did in the others, and then I took one of these embossing ball tools, like a ball stylus, and just kind of drew some lines into it, just to create almost like a wood grain effect in the background. Just added a little bit extra interest to what would have been quite a plain area, really. I thought because this has only got a partial stamp and is quite subtly coloured, it was nice just to show that you can put a bit of design in that background. Again, another sentiment out of the set of stamps, just to finish that off, matted onto some card. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you agree that this is a really fun technique, not only for using your alcohol inks in another way for card making projects, but also for those of you that like to stamp and heat emboss, it's something else that is good to try. Obviously, you could do this using an inked background, maybe on some normal card, something like a distress ink, and then once that's completely dry, go around with the Posca pen. But I do think that the fact that the Posca pen is a nice matte finish, it's a good contrast to that shiny gloss card underneath, and it just really sort of helps the design to pop. But as always, if you did enjoy this, please leave me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And please feel free to leave me a comment below letting me know what you think. But for now, that's all. Bye.
You can't hide it. Ooh, baby, I know I turn you on. You can bring your friends, we won't